Sigmund Freud. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. The ego is not master in its own house. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. The mind is like an iceberg, it floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. The aim of psychoanalysis is to make the unconscious conscious. The only thing that one can be sure of in this uncertain world is that one is born, that one consumes and excretes, and that one will die. The only thing that counts in life is the permanent things, and these are not the things that pass, but the things that are eternal. What a distressing contrast there is between the radiant intelligence of the child and the feeble mentality of the average adult. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. The ego is the actual seat of anxiety. The only thing that counts in life is the permanent things, and these are not the things that pass, but the things that are eternal. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. A child is psychologically an adult, but with a smaller bag of experience. The only real limitation on human potential is the limitation we place on our own imagination. The mind is a battlefield, with the ego and the ID constantly at war with each other. The human psyche is a vast and mysterious landscape, full of hidden depths and unexplored corners. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips, betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a reflection of their whole psychological development. The expression of emotion is a characteristic feminine trait, and emotionality is the most important element of femininity. It is a predisposition of human nature to consider an unpleasant idea untrue, and then it is easy to find arguments against it. The dream is the liberation of the spirit from the pressure of external nature, a detachment of the soul from the fetters of matter. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. We are so constituted that we can gain intense pleasure only from the contrast, and only very little from the condition itself. Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same thing, and even today words retain much of their magical power. As regards intellectual work, it remains a fact, indeed, that great decisions in the realm of thought, and momentous discoveries and solutions of problems, are only possible to an individual working in solitude. What is common in all these dreams is obvious. They completely satisfy wishes excited during the day which remain unrealized. They are simply and undisguisedly realizations of wishes. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. We are what we are, because we have been what we have been, and what is needed for solving the problems of human life and motives is not moral estimates but more knowledge. Our memory has no guarantees at all, and yet we bow more often than is objectively justified to the compulsion to believe what it says. He who knows how to wait need make no concessions. The weakness of my position does not imply a strengthening of yours. The motive forces of fantasies are unsatisfied wishes, and every single fantasy is the fulfillment of a wish, a correction of unsatisfying reality. Everyone has wishes which he would not like to tell to others, which he does not want to admit even to himself. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. With words one man can make another blessed, or drive him to despair. The scope of one's personality is defined by the magnitude of that problem which is capable of driving a person out of his wits. Which quote did you like the most? Post your thoughts in the comments.